Does Kiana Docherty hate fat people? This literally exists as a Quora right now. And honestly, it's a little bit surreal to me because I spent 90 to 95% of my life obese. Like, I gained a little bit of weight during COVID, but even at my thinnest, I would never consider myself to be like a thin person because it just has not been my life experience whatsoever. In high school, one of my best friends was also obese, and we called our struggles the loaf, the life of a fatty, because we just had struggles that other people our age did not have. I remember another time I was at a barbecue sitting next to this guy that I really liked, and he was looking at me. He was looking at me for an extended period of time, like in the eye, like kind of like I thought in a flirty way. And I was like, oh, like, what? What is it? And he was like, you're really fat. And yeah, I was crushed, obviously. Another time when I was even younger, I was like 8 or 9 or something. I went to the park wearing this like tight blue leggings and t-shirt combo. And my mom told me specifically, don't wear that to the park. And I did. And there were some like slightly older boys, and they like followed me around the park calling me Rosie O'Donnell, which is like the most 90s fat joke of all time. But yeah. Not only that, but almost every single person in my family struggles with their weight. When I was a kid, one of my aunts was actually the largest person I had ever seen with my eyes. So for a Quora to exist that asks if I hate fat people, it's truly bizarre to me. Because regardless of what the scale says, in some ways I'll never not be a fat person. You know what I mean? Also, before we get into it, please don't think that I'm like defending myself or like I'm sad about this Quora. Honestly, it's been up for like I think like a year. And I think it's kind of funny. I thought you guys would think it was funny too. And I never make these kind of like chatty videos. So I thought we could talk about this. And I have a lot more to say, but I do have to do a sponsorship before we get going. This video is sponsored by Honey. We all know that promo code field is on almost every single website. You're about to check out and start to wonder, is there a promo code out there that will work for this order? Fast forward 15 minutes, you've searched for every code to no avail. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free online shopping tool that scours the internet to find promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. It's like going shopping with a friend who knows where to get all the best deals. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. So no matter what you're shopping for, Honey can help you get the best deal possible with just the click of a button. Here's how it works. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites and you're just about to check out. Like magic, the Honey button pops down and all you have to do is click apply coupons. Just wait a few seconds as Honey searches for all the coupons it can find for that site. If there's a working coupon, Honey will apply it and you'll watch the prices drop. With Honey, you always know you're getting the best price. It works on all of your favorite websites. We're talking clothes, food delivery, electronics. There are hidden savings everywhere with Honey. So if you don't have Honey, you could straight up be missing out on savings. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/Kiana. It's a great way to support the channel and a great way to save money when online shopping. That's joinhoney.com/Kiana. And back to the video. Anyway, at the same time, I do get why this question exists. I've now made a bunch of videos declaring that obesity is in fact unhealthy and bashing the fat acceptance movement in a world where a growing group of people truly believes that obesity is not unhealthy, that your weight does not pose a risk to your health. Like there are people right now fighting to end obesity research because they think that it's mean. And that includes people fighting against childhood obesity. Like I wish that this was just a fringe concept, but seriously, people are starting to think that your body weight accounts for nothing when it comes to your health. And even if it did, it doesn't matter because it's impossible to change it. You know, your weight is up to your genetics and your socioeconomic status more so than it is your choices and actions. And it's honestly insane and tragic to me that this idea is recruiting so many people successfully. Because data aside, any ex-obese person will tell you it's like night and day living in an obese versus normal weight body. Life is just physically easier at a healthier body weight. And the data strongly suggests that obesity is extremely unhealthy for us. It's never wavered from that. And as someone who consumes a lot of health information, health content all the time, from scientists, doctors, psychologists, whoever. It's funny to me how plainly they state that obesity is truly unhealthy for you. Like, I don't think I've heard one of them really seriously question it at all. It's very much so just a social thing. In fact, as we collect more data, it seems to be worse and worse all of the time, with the current theory being that obesity itself is a chronic inflammatory state, and this chronic inflammatory state is what leads to the diseases that we associate with obesity. So it's just crazy to me that people think this is no big deal despite mountains of evidence to the contrary. And I kind of feel like it's my duty to talk about it. Obesity has negatively impacted me personally. I have an online voice. I think fat acceptance is harmful. It leads to self-victimization, set of limiting beliefs, and worsening health. And most importantly, it is something that everyone can change if they want to, and it's worth every ounce of effort that it takes. But when I say that, I'm not saying that I feel everyone is obligated to lose weight if they're overweight. I think if you're obese and you're happy, that's your choice and you are entitled to it. And it is extremely difficult to change. Yeah, I don't feel that it's my business to tell you that you need to lose weight. People value different things. A turning point in my health journey, or whatever you want to call it, was discovering that health is a core value for me. And when I discovered that, I hadn't actually done anything healthy up until that point in my life, but it kind of points out why some of your actions might make you feel bad. And a lot of time there's a lot more reason there than just the number on the scale. If you have my guide, you know that one of the first exercises I have you do is figure out your core values, because your core values tell you a lot about what your motivations are in life and what types of actions are going to make you feel either good or bad. Like when I discovered that health was a core value for me, it clicked that being a certain weight was never going to be enough for me. And I had to figure out how to live a healthy lifestyle in order to feel truly fulfilled. And that's something that I'm still figuring out and working on perfecting, which is partially why I have this channel. And it's obviously something that doesn't necessarily come naturally to me. So it's really kind of my task to get myself in alignment with this value so that I can flourish as a person. We've all heard the term integrity. Well, it actually means to live with integrity is to behave in a manner that is consistent with and fulfills one's core values. Integrity is an intentional process of moving toward adherence to one's professed values. It really means becoming whole, self-actualizing, essentially. For me, it's I just want to choose. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to eat something, I want it to be because I wanted to eat that thing and not because I have a bad habit of eating everything that's in sight. That's how I feel. Freedom is another huge component of it for me. I don't want to be a slave to food. I don't want anything to have that kind of power over me, especially not fucking food. I have sat there in my life and stared at pizza and thought to myself, fuck, everything. How much have I given up for this? How much have I given up for this? And then still gone and ate the pizza. Like, what? That is messed up. And not being able to conquer something so vital, it truly just makes you feel hopeless. Every single year, I would set the same goal. Lose weight. And every single year, I would fail. Actually, not only would I fail, I would just get fatter. It's such a mindfuck to fail and fail and fail at the same thing over and over and over again. Especially for an ambitious person, that type of failure, it just messes with you on like a deep level. Autonomy is actually a central tenet of self-actualization. Humans need to feel that we have control of over our own actions, and even to some degree have control over our environment to truly flourish. So repeating the same toxic behavioral patterns over and over and over and over again is truly a nightmare. And that is why I originally made this channel. And that is why I originally researched behavior change. Not because I hate fat people, but because a lot of fat people don't like being fat. And a lot of fat people are fat for more reasons than just they like food and don't like to exercise. And a lot of people are stuck the exact same way I was. It's like we all know what to do, but there's this huge disconnect between knowing and doing. Like, I truly believe that having a food addiction or being obese is one of the hardest bad habits to kick of them all, because of course you can't go cold turkey. You have to figure out how to navigate your life in a completely different way forever. But I see it as a behavioral and psychological issue that can be overcome. It's not some genetic destiny that you're doomed to live out. I'm moving a little bit away from just talking about obesity, as I'm sure you can tell by my general content, and moving more toward talking about just health and behavior change and flourishing in general, because those are my primary interests. But I will never stop talking about obesity or bashing fat acceptance. As long as there are people saying that obesity is perfectly fine, I will continue to say, and I don't care what people think, when I say that fat acceptance, Tess Holiday, and the rest of it is toxic, because it is. I really would have nothing to say if this movement was just about fat people accepting themselves. And of course, there is a kernel of it that is good and helpful, but it's all totally decimated by all of the ridiculous anti-science nonsense that is spread throughout their movement. Your body getting fatter is an act of survival. Congrats on being here. Wait, what? The desire to eradicate the existence of fat bodies can also be called eugenics. And like I said, something that makes me the angriest is I just keep hammering home that weight loss is impossible. Like, bodybuilders like lose and gain weight, lose and gain weight. It's obviously possible. Like, when it comes to weight management is stigma. Oh, come on! I can remember the moment that I discovered for myself that it was possible for me to lose weight. I had successfully gone to the gym for, I can't remember how long it was for, a successive period of time for the first time ever. And I had lost like 20 pounds or something like that. And I cried in the change room because I was like, I can do this. It's up to me. That's all it is. I just got to put in the work. And from that moment, you kind of have a certain certainty about your actions that allows you to be more effective in your change efforts. So it has a profound effect that they push this idea that people can't lose weight. And I don't want to make sweeping assumptions about an entire group of people, but I would assume, just based on psychology, that it does make this whole idea that it's impossible, that people just hate fat people, that this whole narrative is just a conspiracy to keep them down. It does maybe make them feel better about their inability to change thus far, at least for some of them, I'm sure. I still have a lot of work to do on myself. Like I said, I did gain a little bit of weight in the pandemic, and just getting to your healthiest possible lifestyle, it takes time, especially from like a place of a food addiction, which I had before, if you haven't seen my other video. But I think I'm going to do an update video in about a month or two to this video, which I've never watched that video again because it's so personal and awkward. Just the idea of it like really cringes me out, but but anyway, a lot has improved since that video. So I'm going to do an update to it. I've totally transformed my relationship with food, and not to toot my own horn, but lately I've really been teaching myself how much change is possible, and really how much of my own issues were kind of in my head, I think. Anyway, I never really do chatty videos with you guys, and I thought this Quora, even though it's like a year old, was a good opportunity to chat. I know it was kind of rambly, but hopefully it made sense, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.